Welcome everybody to MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group Securities offered by MoneyBlock. Let's check out what's hot on this opening bell. And you know what, folks? The market is headline ridden this morning. And we knew that we were going to get to this component of the week where it was just going to be basically data, central bankers, headlines on earnings. I mean, you name it, we got it. And the markets, they're taking everything in stride. As a matter of fact, taking a look at the Dow Jones right now, you can clearly see that it's basically trading up slightly in the green off of its best levels, but in a very tight range. Up 1260 at 20,987. Again, above its 20 and 50-day moving average. I'm just giving you that as a support level that you can use when you're looking at the major index. And as you see the news come across, for example, overnight, the Bank of Japan, central bank, left their rates basically the same policy that they've had. Their growth forecasts were increased, but their CPI was decreased. That means that they don't see that inflation is really going to rear its head. Then we had the European Central Bank. ECB came out. Draghi, who heads up the bank, basically said, hey, here's the thing. We're going to keep the policy flat. But we're going to leave the opportunity in the future to either continue to ease or even increase the amount of infusion that they could potentially put into the system. I think he's doing that as a hedge going into the French elections. But basically, they felt that everything looked really pretty solid and good in Europe. The only concern that they had is they're not seeing inflation grow, and they need to get inflation growing. So that's why they're going to continue to keep the stimulus card out there, or the carrot, however you want to look at it. And then, of course, here in the United States, we continue to have earnings, and globally earnings have been driving. We continue to have over 300 companies have reported so far early in this earnings cycle. And it's been good to mixed, I would say, as far as the results so far. We'll talk about some of the names that we had discussed in Tech Talk at tail end of this discussion. But what's going to be notable is tonight you're going to want to watch Microsoft, Google, as well as Amazon. They're all going to report. And as a matter of fact, taking a look at the S&P 500, which has these components in it, it's trading up right around $2 at 23.8960. You clearly see that it is sitting in a consolidative range. Of course, we had the general framework, and I mean general framework of the tax reform components from the Trump administration. There really is no meat to this at this juncture. As far as anyone's concerned, if you put this to the hill, it's dead on arrival. Taking a look at the NASDAQ, as I had noted, we have tech giants, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. These have been the names that have gotten the NASDAQ composite, the larger index. We're looking at the NASDAQ 100 above that 6,000 level. It's got the NASDAQ 100 over the 5,500 level, and it's up 15 right now in advance of earnings tonight. We're going to talk about these names, and I'll give you estimated moves for these names that are going to be reporting going into this event tonight. So join me at Tech Talk at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central Time. The Russell 2000, this has been the silver lining so far in the last couple of sessions. It continues to lead to the upside. It's up 0.28%, up 4 points at 1423.24. This is that small cap, domestically centric index. Now, what's impressive about this is that we had durable goods and durable orders come out. Durable orders came in at 0.7%. The estimates were at 1.5%. You also had durable goods come in ex autos. It actually came in down 0.2%. There was an expectation of having up 0.6%. That's telling me right now that business spending a little bit soft right now. I want to watch that very closely. I don't think it's extremely negative, but you want to see these numbers on the plus side and moving to the upside. That means businesses are spending money here. That means that you could see a further growth in the employment opportunity, that business is moving forward. They're spending money to take advantage of that. They see opportunity and growth on the forefront. You want to see those durable orders and durable goods, ex autos, moving to the upside. We didn't see that this morning, which is probably one of the reasons why you see that the market is taking a little bit of a pause, but the Russell 2000 continues to move to the upside, so they're looking a little bit beyond that. Taking a look at the volatility index, the VIX basically trading down 30 cents, continuing under that $11 mark. Bottom line is volatility is non-existent in this market. Even though we have global uncertainty, political uncertainty, volatility is just not in the market. As we had noted, the dollar charge to the upside continues. We see that it is now challenged its 200-day moving average and is now above it. Let's see if it gets up above that 100 level. That's going to be where it will challenge its 20-day moving average. That's resistance at this level. Taking a look at crude, crude continues to falter. Once it broke that 200-day moving average, as I had said, once it breaks 49, you're going to start to see a challenge. It's going to challenge 48, going to get to 47 potentially very quickly. We did see what would be considered a bullish EIA report with the draw from the crude inventories yesterday of a little over 3 million barrels. But with that being said, you still have historically huge quantities of crude still in storage. And if you're not seeing inflation rearing its head, as well as the fact that the dollar continues to strengthen, especially against global currencies, that's not going to help crude or the crude bull case. You're also seeing a similar pullback in Brent. Watch this one closely. We're going to see if the OPEC nations are going to continue to adhere to the agreement that's going to go through June and looks to need to be extended if they want to keep crude above $50 beyond June as far as production cuts. That's looking a little dicey right now. I've been hearing some mixed commentary on that. Looking at the bond markets, you see that the 2-year is down ever so slightly in price, but you have the 10-year and the 30-year. Watch the bond action. If you see bond prices continue to move to the upside and yields coming down, especially that 10-year yield. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the 10-year yield, if you start to see that 10-year yield is getting below 2.3%, as we had noted, it's currently trading right now at 2.31%. If it starts to go below 2.3%, that's going to put not only bond bears on notice, it's a potential red flag for the market. So we're going to watch that closely. All right, folks, that is it for What's Hot on the Open. Join me at 1:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to go over some really cool strategies that you're going to be able to implement, whether you're a novice, in other words, new, never traded or invested on your own. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to learn how to do this with great transparency and confidence going forward. So join us here at 1:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Central on MarketStream.live.